Sanchez, who is at our studio at the Fitness for 10 in Carson City. If you want to reach out to me, you can get me at stevemain.com. Please leave your comments. This is a very interesting topic that we're covering today. So if you guys have comments, ideas, we want to know what you guys think. So leave them in the comment section. Thanks for being with us, Brian.
Thanks for having me again, Steve.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how many days a week should you train? And we're talking the sky is the limit on this. How old are you? What are your goals? How much time do you have? What type of workouts are you doing will determine, are you mixing in cardio and stretching and heavy resistance, walking? There's literally hundreds of ways to break this down. And if you guys are watching this channel, you know what I always say, recovery time has to match your intensity. So whatever intensity you use, we've got videos. Can you work out every day? Yeah, you can, but you have to do it right. So your initial thoughts on this, Brian?
You know, I think it's very important to understand where you're at in your fitness before you commit to how many days you want to go. And this topic just came up when I was training with some people over at the Parkway Athletic Club. And, you know, I'm dealing with athletes there who are in our APC program. And they're in a very different world than some of the people sometimes we see here just in general. You know, are you sitting on your couch and you're just getting started and you haven't worked out in, you know, the last years, I should say? Well, then your approach is going to be a lot different than somebody who's been active for a long time. Rule number one is get active. Get active every day if you can. Find a way to make your body move every single day. And if you can start there, that's something. But like you said, it's all going to depend on what kind of workout you're doing, where your physical abilities are, your age, body size. You know, if you're one of those that enjoys group classes, I'd recommend 2 to 3 group classes a week. Get them, find them, sign up, and get there. If you're a person that is doing total body workouts, then I would probably say, you know, do 3 total body workouts for that week and then throw in 2 to 3 days of cardio. Depending on that intensity level, you may need some rest. If you're predominant cardio, but you want to get some resistance training in, go predominant cardio 3 days a week and pop in 2 days of resistance training, you know, and find what kind of workout would work best for you. For me, I'm a splits kind of worker. I go 4 to 5 days of lifting. Sometimes I'm doing a little more where you might see me 6 days in a row, but that's seldom. Usually it's 5 for me, but I'm hitting specific areas on my body. Now, I had to go a lot less. It was more like closer to the 4 a week when I was doing all the really heavy lifting up to last month. And I made adjustments to where I'm now back into moderate, higher repetition type of workouts. So I'm adding another day to my regimen because I don't need as much rest between lifts as I did when I was trying to lift the world. So it really all depends on where you're set.
Yeah, you know, you brought up something that's very interesting, and because you brought it up, I'll use it as an example. This is how unique every situation is. Athletes, young athletes, near and dear to my heart, something that I did all through college. But an athlete, okay, in choosing, first of all, an excellent strength coach, which I know you're doing some stuff up at Parkway Athletic Club in Reno, one of our affiliates. Is it off season? What is your sport? Is your sport basketball? Is it off season? Are you in season? Those things matter. So let's say it's basketball season, and what's your practice schedule? What's your practice schedule off season? Because these sports now are all year round. So I'm just picking basketball out of the blue. I played baseball and football in college. So I had to juggle all this stuff with my training. So let's take basketball. Basketball is brutal. People don't realize the energy and the calories. Basketball is brutal. It's not, oh, it's a non-contact sport. I'm not a basketball player, but yes, basketball is a contact sport and it's brutal. It's one of the most explosive sports a young
Right.
athlete can play. So where am I going with this? How do you want to train your muscles, and let's say it's in season, all your workouts are going to be active recovery, some type of active recovery workouts, because you're playing basketball games in high school at least twice a week. And then sometimes you have tournaments and so on. Your body needs to recover. And as an 18-year-old, yeah, your body recovers faster and better, but you got to match that with your nutrition and everything. How many days a week do you practice? Do you get the weekends off if you're a high school basketball player where you do nothing on Saturday and Sunday? Usually. And that's usually the way it is with most sports in high school, whether it's basketball, football, baseball. But baseball, is it in season? Is it off season? I know that you've got a really serious program where you're training baseball players up there at Parkway. That matters. Right now, it's off season for baseball players. So their training is going to be unique and different compared to in season. That's just an example of how you would train. Now, I'm a 60-year-old man. Everybody knows that by now. How do I train? It's not going to be, I go out and play one basketball game, which I would be horrible. I'm not going to be able to do anything after that for weeks. Even swinging a baseball bat, you're using muscles in a unique way, and they have to be conditioned. So that all plays a part too. We're talking, you and I are talking to a lot of health club members, and those health club members have goals at it may be age 30, age 40, age 60, age 80. Are you working? What's your schedule? When do you work out? What's your diet like? We could talk about this for hours, right? Because there's so many variables on whether I'm going to do a 4-day split with 2 different workouts, and I'm going to do it. One of them I'm going to do Monday and Thursday. The other one I'm going to do Tuesday and Friday. But what's my age? Am I an athlete? And so on. It's just infinite, right?
It is. And if you take the athletes that I'm working with right now, I've got a controlled program where I have them now this week. They will have 3 days of resistance training. That's coupled with their running, biking, and or other cardio aspects of it that they do separately from the resistance days. And they also have 2 to 3 days a week where they're working with coaches, and we're all in off season on their craft, which is their sport, with the intention of we turn them over to their teams actually probably in the next few weeks. And then we have to make adjustments there. So even at that age, we have to adjust because their bodies can get really taxed. And, there's nothing wrong if you're, at a gym once a week. If you get up and you walk every day for 30 minutes and you want to do a little work on your muscular side or your balance or your stability with your balance, and you come into the gym and you do some light band work once a week, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's good. Is that enough? Yeah. So it does all depend on what you're working on. And I do recommend for everybody, research for yourself what it is you want to do with your body, what's your goal, and how you're going to set this up. If you research this for yourself, you're going to find a program that fits for you. It's all online. There's a bazillion different ways to do this. Just because your friends are doing it this number of days a week doesn't mean you do. Always take that into consideration. If you're new to the gym, make sure you're getting proper rest in between your work days or your workout days. You're going to need it, and you have got to be fueling that body with proper food. A lot of people make the mistakes. Obviously, if you're on a Specific weight loss program, you're going to want to adjust your diet. But a lot of people try to come in and they throw themselves at their workouts. They're in here too many days a week. They put themselves on a crash diet, and pretty soon they're wore out within a matter of 2-3 weeks. We have to avoid that. Balance in everything we do, and it will pay off in the positive.
Yeah, and so the answer is the answer that everyone always loves. How many days a week should you train? Of course, it depends, which, everybody hates that answer, but you got to figure it out, and it's going to vary. At my age, I work out 6-7 days a week. How do you do that, Steve, at your age? 6-7 days a week. My intensity level is lower. And these athletes, just to go to practice, baseball practice, when I was in college, our conditioning for baseball was more intense than our conditioning for football. Seriously, you see those pitchers? Here's their practice. Go run laps for an hour and a half. So it's really important to have, the better your coaching, the better your young person, or if you're older, 50s, 60s, 70s, the coaching matters. Your personal trainer matters, because there's good ones and there's bad ones. And when you combine a bunch of good coaches who understand, the heart, the muscular system, strength, flexibility, and nutrition, it all goes hand in hand, and recovery and sleep and all those things, you're going to maximize whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So it's a great topic, but the answer is, you could train once a week, you could train 7 times a week, depending on how everything else comes together. And that's a valid answer. Somewhere between 1 and 7 days a week. And I think there's only 7 days in a week, right?
Well, it depends on what week you're working on. Yeah.
Oh, some weeks.
Sometimes there's 8-9 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are, well, it kind of feels that way for me. I'm not that busy, but anyway, thanks for your input on this, Brian. And
Steve, you have a great day. Hey, everybody, just get out there and move. That's all you got to worry about.
Do body squats, eat healthy. Thanks, Brian.
Take care.